All right, I'm going to get started now. It looks like might just be a couple people in here, but that is quite all right. First webinar that I've had for this program and for a lot of things so far, so forgive me if anything is weird. Kind of the first time again. So I'll just look and see real quick. If you can't hear me or if anything is strange is happening, just type something in the chat. You might have to go to YouTube, the YouTube channel, to actually chat rather than the webinar page. So again, just chat something in there if anything strange is happening. And there is a bit of a delay, some latency, so I'll respond to anything probably, I think, maybe like 30 seconds or so afterwards. All right, so I'll just go ahead and get started here. So if you don't know me, I'm Eric Westendorf, founder of Event Render, and this is just a quick, going to be a fairly short, maybe 30 minutes webinar on Render Now. This is a new platform that we've created, which is currently in beta, but definitely very usable and a pretty awesome solution for people that want to make quick renderings for clients. And so we're going to jump into it. The main purpose of this is for people that are non-designer types. So I myself am a designer, and one of the biggest reasons that we created this was to make something available for people that didn't or weren't able to, spend the tons of time and money it takes to become sort of a designer with all the software and whatnot. So we'll get into that stuff though. All right, let me move on here. So who is Event Render? If you don't know of us, we do quite a few things, but we generally stick around event renderings, hence the name. So we provide mostly the ability to combine sort of art and technology is where we, the core of where we sit, and basically to allow you to have sort of an easy outlet to create event rendering. So this new program that we built is sort of at the core of that, where we're trying to provide a service and a platform that allows you to create renderings that look really good, but is also very simple to do. So sort of the results of everything is to try to get more time for you, which sort of brings forward more revenue, more win rates, referrals, and overall success. These are just some examples of sort of our process, but the different sort of types of events that we've done in the past. Some are virtual, some are live. All right, so the plan today quickly is to go through these sort of three things here. So we're just going to be talking a little bit about why sort of this stuff matters for you, and then we'll go into a quick demo to show you sort of how the Render Now software works, and then we'll close up with just some quick Q&A. So why does this all matter? So I've been in this industry for probably not 20 years, I don't know, 15. But I've been designing events for 10 years now, and the problem has stayed fairly much the same, which is that the event rendering process is currently pretty slow, and it's an expensive and sort of inefficient process that hinders your ability to bid on new events, right? So if you're trying to win new events and whatnot, it's quite the problem. And so the cause of this is event design software is typically pretty complicated. It's also kind of outdated, and it takes quite a long time to master, and to be able to really be efficient at it. So the effect of all this is lost time, revenue, and clients. Of course, you could do a lot more if all of this stuff was sort of figured out. And again, since I've been doing this for 10 years, the last probably 3 years, I've been looking to create a solution that sort of tackled all this stuff so that we could make renderings much more efficiently and keep that high quality. So we've been able to create something that allows all this, but basically also gives our clients the power to create the renderings themselves because it's so simple and easy. Basically, we do all the hard work of making all the stuff look good and then make that available to you. And that's all kind of compiled into templates, easy to use editing features, simple user interface, and then it all lives in the cloud, so you don't actually need any hardcore computing power to make it all work. And then finally, this all kind of results in the sort of thing that we want, and as well as our customers want, which is more conversions. So, what if you could bid on 10 times more events? Like, how much more revenue, but how much more clients would that allow you to get? So more revenue in general. What if your sales process cost and time was cut in half, or even less than that? What would you be able to do? And then more confidence overall. So with creating these sort of high quality and efficient renderings, you have a little bit more, or let's say a lot more confidence in what you're able to show your clients, sort of a realistic depiction of what you're able to do. These are just some examples and quick quotes of some things that people have said that we've worked with before. So just some quick notes on sort of the success that they've had with rendering. So being able to pick up more clients specifically because of the renderings and sort of being able to drive their business through that. Obviously, that's not the sole thing, but it's a huge component. So if you haven't seen this, I'll just I'll play this real quick. Hopefully it plays back okay over this stream. But this is just a quick highlight of some different renderings that were made in the platform, so that you can get a quick idea of sort of the current capabilities of it and some examples. And then just some quick features of how you can move things around really quickly and create different designs. But we'll go all over how this all kind of works in this demo here in a second. So let's go into the demo. So after all of this, the demo, what I'm using in the demo will be available for you guys to use, which is basically in the beta right now. And that's at eventrender.com/render now, but I'll explain that at the end again. All right, so I'm gonna switch over here to the demo. So when you first load it up, you'll be able to log in with your email, and that allows you to save any projects that you might have. Currently, we just have the ability to save 10 projects for this beta, but you'll want to start with this starter project, which just loads up this basic sort of stage, couple tables, and then this cool dude right here. So I'll kind of quickly explain sort of what you're looking at here and what the user interface is, and then we'll go into some of the ways of how you can kind of quickly create a few renderings. So you'll see that everything's kind of in this outline and grid view. Right up here we have this grid button, and you can turn that off, but it starts in here because it's a little bit easier to see things. A lot of times the event rooms are fairly dark, and this is in a 3D space. So if I hit this orbit button and move around, you can see that everything is in 3D. And yeah, so we'll go over some of these other things real quick. So the left side of here, we have a bunch of models. So one of the things that we did, to try to save a ton of time for anyone else who's using this and also ourselves, is to create a bunch of models that look as pretty much as high quality as they can. So I'll just maybe show a couple things here. So we have staging up here, so a bunch of different options for sort of your base layer of elements. So maybe a piece of truss that you want, you just drag and drop it out here. And you can actually, we'll explain this a little bit later, but you can actually just change the truss size to common truss sizes by that. I'll just go ahead and delete that. Standard things like drapery, you can see here. And then a lot of other things. So we have 4 different companies that provide scenery. So you'll see a atomic stuff, expressive structures, which has a few different categories, quest and stretch shapes, and we're always adding to these. So again, this is just some for now. So different video options, models and of a bunch of different light fixtures to be able to use, audio equipment, chairs. We have some sort of not real chairs, but chairs that might be more stylistic, and then some chairs and pieces from Court for now. We'll definitely add to that, as well as some couches, a bunch of plants that you might want to try, seating and tables for the audience, and then a bunch of presenters. This is, again, just for now. We have definitely enough to get you started to create some decent looking renderings, but we are constantly adding to this as well. So, all right, so the next thing up here is the templates, which is kind of the meat of everything, which I'll go through in just a minute after the rest of the UI, but basically you can drag and drop all of these different options out here to quickly see different templates that you might want to start from. And then if you want to clear it, you just hit that clear button. All right, and then up here, again, since this is a 3D program, you have a few different camera options. So you have this free view, which allows you to hold your right mouse button to look around. I'm sorry if this is laggy or not high quality in any way from the YouTube stream. But you're able to kind of get some cool, pretty much any type of view that you want. If you move around like this, move around with your keyboard and your mouse like this, you can hit the orbit button and go ahead and just orbit around the area, which is also pretty nice. And then you do have a top view, so you can display different, or just be able to move around different elements easier for different perspectives. So a left view, a right view, and a front view. So you can move around just like that. And I'll go back to this spot, and just a couple more things on here. So this Marquee View is pretty cool, or Marquee tool. What it allows you to do is in this 3D space, you can basically drag your mouse over any objects and sort of select them all in a 3D manner. So the easiest way to do that is start by clicking on this. You can also do that in any other view like that. And if you don't have that on, you can just click and drag any element that you want as well. Again, with this grid view, so you also have an option to change the color. So if you wanted to make it look more like a blueprint so that you can see things, that's pretty nice. Or if you wanted sort of a black and white view, you can do that as well. We have one small other thing, which is this lines view, and that basically just allows you to see the black outlines of all the elements, which basically just makes it a little bit easier to see different objects when you're using the platform. But while I'm using it, I like to leave it in this so you can see outlines as well as see the color of everything. All right, lastly, well, maybe not last, but the search for images box here just brings up a browser within the platform, which allows you to search for different images, which I'll show you in a bit. And then you can add those images into this area and drag them onto objects like screens so that you have graphics and logos and stuff like that. Over here is some editing features, which I won't get too into, but we'll show you as we're going. Some lighting and lighting controls over here as well. All right, so what we're going to do here is try to make a couple different sort of rendering options. So we'll say, for example, you have a client that you want to bid on a few different, and you want to show them a couple different rendering options. So maybe they have some different, or to show them some different budgeted options, you might have sort of a less expensive one, something that's a little bit more, and then maybe a more expensive one. So we'll try to do that where we show a few different options. So let's start with something small. So these basically going from small to larger sort of A/B sets up here. So you can see we have a few different options here. Let's say we start with this just as kind of our lower budget one. We'll just say as an example that, maybe maybe it's a less expensive one, so we don't want to do any backlighting up here, and we definitely don't aren't gonna have the money to do any truss, and we're also going to not be able to have any uplights right there. But let's say, you know, this is kind of a basic look. Maybe we can hang some scenery like this off of the truss, and we can have some uplights here. Maybe I want to switch these uplights to something like more of a light bar to have a little bit of a wider angle on them. And then let's say that we're going to do this for Apple. Even though they have a ton of money, they can probably afford any of this. Let's do this one. So we're going to put this graphic on the screen so that we can brand it really quickly. So I'm going to copy that link there and then just paste it into this, and then drag the logo over. So I'll select this one, drag that over, and I'm going to increase the room light a little bit here. And let's say that we want to go with like a white. So I'm going to select all of the uplights just like that. And then I'm going to change this to this clean white there. And I'm also going to show what it looks like with some people on stage. So I'm just going to drag out a chair here, and maybe we'll do this little, actually maybe we'll do this side table here. I'm going to look at the top and make sure we got, all right, that looks okay. I'll just move this, and we'll put a presenter in the chair. Move her so that she looks about right. Let's make sure that she's sitting on the chair correctly. She's not floating. All right, and then one cool thing that we can do now is just really quickly duplicate this stuff. So I'll just basically hold my Alt key and drag, and that duplicates everything. And, you know, maybe I don't want 3 of her. So I'll just select her and change her to this guy. And same thing over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and move him again just a little bit. Maybe rotate him. Same with her. All right, good enough for me. And let's go ahead and just throw a podium in front of this guy. I'll do a, so up here in the staging option, we have a few different podiums here at the bottom. So I'll just do this sort of clear one, because Apple likes to be nice and clean. All right, and so let's say that I'm going to hit the H key to hide the interface. And we'll say that that is our sort of first option. Maybe I want to change the floor color to something like carpet. And maybe I also want to add a few more tables here, just to make it look a little more completed. Let's throw this here, and then we'll sort of offset them a little bit. All right. So let's just say that that's kind of our first look. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and save that and call that first look, I guess. Go ahead and save that. All right, and let's go ahead and make like more of a medium option. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear this, go back to our templates here, and find something that's maybe a little bit more like in the mid-range. Let's do something like, this, I guess. So what I'll do now is maybe we have the budget to do all the scenery and maybe this is all hidden in the back. So let's select these, and actually let's say we have some lifts or something behind there that's able to hold that up, so we'll just go ahead and keep that there. What we're going to do though is again change the lighting here, keep it that white look, and we'll go ahead and maybe want to change just these top lights, these down lights here on this truss. So go ahead and select those and change it to maybe a cool blue like this. And maybe again I want to change those lights to something like this, and let's change the backlighting as well to more of a blue like that, I guess. All right, that's looking pretty cool. And then I'll just go ahead and drag these screens in again. And maybe I want to angle these screens in a bit. So I'm just going to drag and select, sounded like dragon, so I'm going to drag and select them. And I'm going to change this to the rotation thing here, and then just give them like a 10-degree rotation there. See, just like that. And then they're definitely going to be a little off, so I'm going to change this translation to 1 unit, which equals 1 inch. I'm just going to nudge this in here, and it's probably going to be a little bit off, so I'm going to zoom in there. Do the same thing over here. See if I got that right. Not quite. All right, and this isn't perfect, obviously, but we'll just leave it as is for now. I think you probably get the idea, but you could basically nudge that right up against the other panels if you wanted to take the time to do that. And so there you have like that, and there you go. So there you have maybe your second view. If you did want to do anything else to, let's say, this backdrop, maybe you want to give them a little bit more, so let's go ahead and delete that. Maybe you wanted some cool graphic back there. I'm going to go into this, not stretch shapes, but Expressive Structures has an option of, with their Rex frame, to print on this graphic. And so if you go over here, you can change the size of this. So we'll say, let's say that's about a 24-foot stage by, I think that's about right height, but let me make sure. So it needs to go up 1 inch, and there we have it. All right, so that's now sort of a flat backdrop, and what we can do is actually just drag our logo right into there. I'm going to kind of resize this a bit, so you can use these little tools over here to resize things, and there you have it. Now you have this printed graphic on here. It kind of ups your game a little bit, so now you have your second option, which is, I would say, a much cooler option than the first option. And then we'll go ahead and save that. So that's your second look. We'll save that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear everything again. This will stay here because it's something that I added. So let's go ahead and just delete that manually. And then let's go ahead and try to find our third option. So let's do something a little different. So I'll throw in this guy right here. Oops. And yeah, let's try this. So we'll just go ahead and move these logos in again. And maybe I want to adjust a few things here with this. So I'll change the lighting again to all up lights. Change this to something like this. And let's say these are a little bit too close, these hanging panels, so maybe I want to delete those. And then I know that Apple likes clean things, so I'm going to get rid of this screen in the middle here, and I'm going to do a printed graphic again. And I think I could actually probably go with the same because we got the same size stage here. So let me see if I kind of, I'll say that we have something under there so it can sit fairly high, maybe be level with back there, just under this screen, I mean the stage. All right, and then obviously we have a couple things going on here. So these are too close to this center graphic here. I'm going to move this in here again. These are too close to here, so I'll just go over to the top view and I'll just move everything kind of over a little bit. So I'm going to need to overlap a couple things. I'll hold the select button here, which will allow me to kind of deselect some stuff and say I moved this guy. So now there's some space in between these two, not really overlapping anymore. Move that drape over a little bit, and I'll just do the same thing with this other side over here. Let me move this over a bit, and then I'll just hold my Alt key and create a new drape back there. So this probably gonna need some more truss over here, so I will actually extend the truss a bit. Maybe make that a bit smaller. And this is just an example. The same thing over here. And those do snap together, so you can see that every inch they will snap. So basically, what you have here is a grid full of every square is 1 foot. And so if I move this, basically that's an inch for every time I move it, and you can change that by this little option here. So if I went to 6, it'd be 6 inches, so it goes like that. And then you can see if I move the marquee around, it actually counts up here the size of different things. All right, let me go and turn this back on and take a look at what we have here. So just this, maybe let's say I want to add a couple more backlights, and maybe I want to change the color of this as well. Let's use something Apple-ish. What is that? Apple-ish is super colorful, so that's either stark white or super colorful, I feel like. I'll just stick with that, and then maybe I do just these guys right here. So these are those uplights that are on the stage there, and maybe I want to change those to like a cool amber sort of color, something like this. And then there's some downlights as well. So maybe I add a few downlights over here, like that. And I'll select them with this 3D marquee tool to just get those. And I'm going to go ahead and change those to, yeah, something like that. All right, so we're going for the colorful look here. Amber. And these guys are going to be that cooler blue. Like that. Okay, so something like that. You could obviously spend forever probably trying to play with colors. But I'd say that's a pretty good look so far, just as an option. All right, so one of the cool things you're going to do once you're at this point is make the rendering look sort of more cinematic. So I'm going to move these tables just a little bit closer. And what I'm going to do is kind of zoom in here, or just move in with my camera. And so if I hit the right mouse button, it focuses wherever my mouse is. So when I click on anything, it focuses right on this table here. Or if I want to focus on the stage, I'm focused up there. I feel like the stage is a little bit bare, so I'm going to add some plants to here as well. Now we got something more to look at. I'll just add another one over here. All right, now I'm ready to take a render. All right, so the cool thing about this is that you've already created your render basically. So it renders in real time, so you don't really need to wait for a rendering to happen or anything. We are still implementing the sort of save rendering feature, but in this beta version, basically you would just take a screenshot of what you have here. So you'd have your 1920 by 1080 screenshot or whatever your monitor resolution is at. And then we'll save this as the third option. Third look, sorry. And there you have it. So you basically have your three options right there. And you can always add more, things to this, like speakers and whatnot. And if you wanted to create sort of some top views as well, you can do the same thing to see where everything is placed, which is pretty helpful that you have this grid view here too, so it can actually pretty quickly and easily see how the spacing works, right? So all these models are accurate models that show accurate spacing and how things fit together. So you can play around with that if you're looking for more of a schematic sort of top view or front view or anything like that. Yeah. All right, so I'll end the sort of demo right there and kind of move on to some other information. So our process that we are looking to do or to have with this whole platform is sort of a combined approach between having the software to help you create renderings, but also acting as a full-on support system to help you create renderings the best that you can. So any software has a little bit of a learning curve, so we're there to help with basically anything that's needed. So this kind of quick analogy would be that we want you to be the pro golfer. We're kind of the caddy that'll help you along the way, and then the software that we provide are the sort of clubs. So if you don't like golf, then there's probably some other analogy, but anyways, we'll move on. So management services, so basically just the elements that kind of put this all together are the different resources that we provide, which is sort of FAQ sections, how-to videos, live chat boxes, and then we strongly encourage any live sort of screen share options as well, which we have available sort of on the website that you're using, so that we can sort of help you through any errors and also just guide you with our own knowledge of how things work and how designs work. We have engineers that are continually upgrading and updating the platform and what we're doing. So we'll just continually be working on that and providing more for you to use. Account managers will basically be your go-to person for any new things, whether it's different features or elements within the platform or anything else really. And then onboarding, we're basically here to make you successful off the bat. So when you start using the platform, we want you to get as comfortable as you can with it. So we have, again, all of these features to allow for you to get started successfully. Go over some quick basically pricing model. Again, this is in beta, so keep in mind that things will change, but this is the overall idea of what we're looking to accomplish with pricing. So the idea is all usage-based pricing, which means that you will only pay for what you use, and that is calculated in per minute cost. So however many minutes you're using it, it's a small amount money per minute. So basically, if there's months where you do not use the platform at all, you're not going to be paying anything. And then when you have a ton of business, that's awesome, because then basically when you're successful, we're successful too. And so then you can use the platform as much as you want for that. So just a quick example would be like 25 cents per minute, calculated over 1 hour would be $15. All right, so quickly in review, we went over why all of this matters, so what is important with rendering, how we can help you create more renderings, better renderings, and ultimately bid on new events and win new events, and increase your amount of time that you have, as well as the amount of events that you close. And then we went through the demo, and we'll just close up in a second here with the Q&A if you have any questions. The next steps for you, if you would like, are to head over to eventrender.com/rendernow. You just enter your information in the bottom area where there's a form, and then you can basically start creating event renderings today, or at least start playing with it. You can start creating renderings for your current projects and your new projects. Start sending them to your clients so that you're able to start moving forward. And then finally, save money. So all of this basically is to allow you to create more renderings, get more clients, save more money. Ultimately, this is the goal, and we're here to help you do that. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat there, and I'll go ahead and answer anything. If not, that's totally cool. Just send an email, or you can schedule a meeting, a one-on-one meeting as well if you need to. Happy to do that. Might be a delay if you do have any questions, so I'll wait a good 2 or 3 minutes here to see if anyone has any questions, and then if not, we'll go ahead and end the stream.